everyone. It is 10 minutes with Barb and
Ron.
I'm Barb Gentili Green. I just noticed, Ron, that our wall colors are similar today.
Hey, they are. I like your walls now, by the way. It doesn't look like you're in a dungeon.
Yes.
Now you're in the palace.
Oh, no. The dungeon wall's on across the wall from me there. So I just picked the better wall to sit by today.
Well, your wall matches my shirt and my walls. So
yes,
that works out pretty good. So I'm Ron Rogers with OCALI, and we've got something special. And it's kind of interesting because Barb says, we need to look at some hot topic that's going around. It's like, okay, I think I've got a hot topic. And hopefully this will captivate or capture some hearts of people, especially if you've just hired new staff. Or, you know what? I'm even thinking in the classroom how this could work too, Barb. I mean, I've been really thinking about this a lot because if done correctly, you could use this with your building leadership teams, your district leadership teams, teacher teams, but in the classroom with your students. If you're an administrator, you could use it during your meetings. So here's what we're going to talk about. It's called Process Observer.
Oh, okay. I was just going to say, you cannot hold us in suspense any longer. What is it that is so powerful?
Yeah, Process Observer. So I think one of the things that's important with Process Observer is they may see things that we don't. How many meetings do you sit through in a year's time in a district?
Oh, my goodness. I don't know. I was in about 10 today. So times 186 days, I guess that's a lot.
That's a lot. And you know, if you're in there every day, it's just kind of like driving home. You don't always notice the new things. Things happen, things change, but you don't always see them because you're so used to the way everything is. So if you have someone that just focuses on your process during the meeting, they might catch things that nobody else sees. So, for example, let's say we invite a process observer to do something, okay? And this is just very simplified, very, very simplified. And then we'll go into some details about process observer. But they might be observing something, and when they're done, you ask them, well, process observer, what did you notice that really stuck out to you? Well, 5% of the people were paying attention.
Right.
What? 5%? Where did you get that? Well, maybe they did some type of who knows what they did. I mean, so let's talk about some different things. So let's say, for example, and we could use this for any meeting, but let's say we appoint a note keeper just for fun because we want to have notes after our meeting. And maybe we appoint a timekeeper because we want to make sure we stay on time for our breaks. And we get started on time and we end on time and we stay on each topic just a certain amount of time. And let's see, what else do we need, Barb? The process observer, of course, we'll appoint one of those. Oh, and this is a new one that I had just found out about this week. A person could designate someone that every so many 10 minutes goes by. Let's say 10 minutes go by and then they just kind of summarize what had just been talked about. Maybe we do that too. So we have a summarizer.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Boy, that would help keep me focused during the meeting. That's for sure.
It would, wouldn't it? Okay. So here's something. Here's a point that I don't think anybody thought of because when I thought of it, they liked it. So at this meeting that I'm thinking about, they had a summarizer and the person came in and knew they were going to summarize at the end of so many minutes each time. I noticed that a few people may have been inattentive, okay, during this. So I recommended, you're going to like this, I recommended that we use a hat with names in it or a randomizer that's on the computer, where you have the names already in and you hit it. Maybe it's an arrow that circles around and then it stops on a person's name. Nobody knows ahead of time who's going to do the summarization each time.
Ooh. Well, Ron, that just created a little bit of anxiety for me.
Oh, I know. Doesn't it, though? But it would keep you on your toes if you're one of those folks that was kind of, coming in and out. And you know what? It's all right, I think, too, to say, you know what? I just spaced out there for a few minutes. I really can't summarize it. Or maybe somebody else can help me summarize it, But if it was a person that was kind of doing stuff on their computer, maybe answering emails on their phone and text, it might keep them straight because, you don't want to call adults out, right?
Right.
So that was an idea. So,
well, can I make a tie to UDL here? Because
let's make some ties to UDL while we're doing this. That's a good idea.
I think that you could reduce the anxiety if people knew going in. Here's the goal: we want to make sure that our message is clear, that we're all on the same page, we're all working from the same information. And so one way we're going to try to do this is this randomized name selection for summarizer. So I think we could UDL it and make it so it was less anxiety provoking.
Yes. Thanks, Barb. Yeah, there could be some anxiety. So, and you don't even have to have the summarizer, but okay. So process observer comes in. Now, what's the process observer going to look for? Well, something I tried new this week was, I don't even remember what I called it. You could call it anything you want, but you list the names on the left. Okay. What I did was I listed names on the left column. Okay. Going up and down like Barb, Ron, Joe, or whatever. And then each time then I picked a time frame of 10 minutes or 15. And I used a certain color pen and I did check marks. So if you were talking and stopped, that's one check mark. Next person starts talking, it's Joe, check mark. And if there's 15 people in the meeting, each time a separate person talks, I would do a check mark. And I did that 3 times throughout a 4 or 5 hour meeting, just chunks of little time. And that kind of gave me an idea randomly who was participating most of the time and who wasn't. And what I found was there might be 5 people just not participating at all during any one of those times. Now, you have to take into consideration where you're at on the agenda. You might be in an area where only a couple people would maybe talk. But then there's always other things going on. I think one of the things that was really neat was there was someone asking clarifying questions once in a while. So somebody, ask a clarifying question, and sometimes that would get somebody to talk outside of the 2 or 3 that was doing most of the talking. But not hearing people talk kind of tells you something. If the same folks, it's just kind of a neat little way to do it without. Does that sound right to you, Barb?
Yeah, so I hear what you're saying. So you're looking for that voice, make sure that we're hearing the voices of people in the meeting. Could you also see it happening where you might have a column where you can look for behaviors that might appear as though a person is engaged or disengaged? Like I noticed that, when so-and-so was talking, when Ron was talking, heads were shaking.
Yes.
It seemed like people were along with Ron, or there were other times when I looked around and people had quizzical faces, like maybe they weren't sure. So I'm sure that there's all kinds of things a process observer can look for as well.
There are all kinds of things. And there's lots of sheets out there that that people have created too. For example, some people will look for the atmosphere. They'll look at the atmosphere. Is it enjoyable? Do I feel like it's enjoyable for me? Does it seem productive? The meeting I was in was very productive the other day. I mean, the productivity was outstanding. So, that wasn't a question there. However, we can have very productive meetings and only have a couple people participate. Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, could we have more productive meetings if few people participated? It depends. So, we have to take that into consideration too, because a lot of times it seems like the meeting's just, it was just perfect. Well, if there's 20 people and 3 of them did all the interactions, it might have been good for 3, but we don't know about the rest. A lot of things to consider. There's no right or wrongs. But the atmosphere, was it supportive? Did people feel supportive? Did people feel sociable, relaxed? Was there trust? Was there tenseness? Was it stressful? Was it welcoming? Was it peace? There's all of those different things. So that person, like you said, can start marking down. Now, I think we have to be careful because we're making some judgment calls there, unlike when we were ticking off the talkers and the not, that was that was fact. That was either yes or no kind of things. Thumbs up. How many people did thumbs up when they were asked? How many people were shaking their heads? A lot of those are factual and some aren't. Was the energy level high or low? I think you could state what you see and people could decide if it's high or low, instead of just making, quality of interaction. How well did everybody listen? How do you gauge that one?
Right. Yeah. Well, again, I think it's part of how do we elicit information from the participants? So if the speaker is presenting something and needs some feedback from people, how do we foster that collaboration, communication by a probing question that then you can then see, like you said, the real hard evidence. What kind of questions or responses did come at that time, and did that appear to be, supportive, not supportive? They were on track or not on track. So yeah,
I think we've given people a lot to think about. We are actually a little over 10 minutes.
Uh-oh.
We will include some links with this, without a doubt. Okay. And they can kind of go look it up. They can think about, doing this or trying it. If they have any questions, they can always get a hold of one of us through email or Twitter. So with that said, Ron's out.
All right. Great topic today, Ron. And with that, Barb is out. We'll see you next time.
YouTube, please subscribe, like, comment, and share.